want these animals out in the wild.
This place seems different too when you're here. Everybody working here, including yourself, is a volunteer. There's no money making off of these creatures. There's no breeding here, which is one of the reasons we wanted to come to this place.
Florida's Fourth Estate with hosts Ginger Gadsden and Matt Austin. The show where we bring Florida into focus. Sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another glorious edition of Florida's Fourth Estate. You may notice we're not in a studio, and thank goodness we are not. We are here in Central Florida at a place that I never knew could really exist in real life. We're at the Central Florida Animal Reserve, and I'd like to call this place my new home.
Yeah, we're about 20 feet from a cougar right now.
He doesn't mean me.
We have no. I wish I had
Thought of that earlier.
Like,
I messed that up. Thank you for picking up where I was slacking. So this is an interesting place. It's a facility. Big cat facilities have been all the talk for, say, the last 4 years in particular, and many before that. And so we wanted to find a facility in Central Florida that's helping these cats. And I know as we start this off, I want to just address the tiger in the room.
Right now.
Yes.
Right now.
Okay, so every time we post something at a sanctuary, people say these animals, these creatures should be out in the African safari, roaming around. We agree with you, and the people who are here agree with you. They wish.
They would rather not have them here.
That would be fantastic.
Absolutely.
In reality, these cats many of them have had rough lives, and this is pretty much the only option for them. And we're thankful that we have joined with us here Dr. Simba Wiltz. He is the CEO of this big cat sanctuary right here. He's also a pharmacist, which I don't know how the two relate, but it's fascinating. Interesting guy. Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've been talking, and you've given us a beautiful and delightful tour where we've gotten to meet some of the big cats, so thank you for doing that. What is your draw? This is obviously a labor of love for you and everyone here. Tell me what it is about these cats that you find so fascinating, amazing, and just loving.
Well, one of the things that's amazing about the cats is that they interact with everyone a little bit differently. But moreover, they are very unique species. They can be challenging to work with. Mm-hmm. They will test the people that are around them and their environment. And what this place does is it allows for us to treat them with that respect, but it also draws other people who are interested in that same kind of love and respect for the animals to be together. And it helps us form human families as much as we form the animal family.
This place seems different too when you're here. Everybody working here, including yourself, is a volunteer. There's no money making off of these creatures. There's no breeding here, which is one of the reasons we wanted to come to this place. So tell us, separate yourself from what people have seen recently in the headlines when it comes to Tiger King and these big money-making cat rescues.
Sure. There is a lot of controversy that goes into maintaining animals. And that's because they are so lovable to be around. These are what we would call large, charismatic megafauna. That's just big animals that have a lot of charisma. Mm-hmm. And with that, people experience them differently. So for us, it's about experiencing their reality, not just the fact that they are pretty faces, because they are, mm-hmm. But also the hard work that goes into making sure that they have the best life. And that focus on the animals is what's really core here. We are very interested in trying to connect people and provide value to society through the work that we do. But at its core, it's always going to be about making sure that we are protecting our animal species and being good ambassadors and stewards.
What is it that got you so interested? Because you are a pharmacist by day. What is it about these cats that got you interested? And how did you know that one day this is what you would be doing?
This is something that is a little bit of a calling and a little bit of luck. At the time that I first started researching big cats, it was the early 90s, and there was a big health outbreak that was killing a whole bunch of lions that were over in Kenya. And so I started investigating that first and learning about lion society and how they kind of worked with each other, and didn't get the chance to go hands-on until much later, and found out that everything that was in the books was almost false, because it's easy to write about them, but it's a lot harder when you have to actually face the realities of them. And so the research that started as a little thing turned into a much larger thing, and have been just kind of growing with the organization since.
And this place is interesting. So you guys built this in 2017. It was ready for showtime, correct?
Yes.
And it's an interesting place with a lot of safety features. If people come out to visit, and by the way, if you're interested in coming to see these cats, that is a possibility, and it's one of the ways they're able to stay open, right? I'm
Yes.
told about a quarter of your budget hopefully comes from events that you have here, and people come and touring the facilities. Now, you're not gonna get to pet the cats or feed any
them.
babies.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that right off the bat,
Yes.
but it's a very important revenue source for this place.
Absolutely. Not only does it help accomplish our education mission, but all of the monies are going directly back to the animals. That's one of the unique features of, if you're coming here, you're not coming here because you're padding someone's salary. You're coming here because these are the monies that we use to provide food, to provide medical care, all of the maintenance that we need to do, because you can't go down to Petco and buy your tiger supplies. We have to build and maintain this world, and that's what allows us to do it.
Inevitably, as Matt mentioned in the intro here, people will see this interview. They won't even watch the entire thing, right? But they just see that they're cats here. And immediately the hate starts. They get on their computers and they start spewing all this nonsense, is what it really is. What would you like those people to, if they're still with us, and I hope they are, what would you like them to know? Because you don't want them here either.
That's true. I think that if someone is going to be serious about the challenges that these species face, then we have to start where we all agree, which is that we want these animals out in the wild. And then we can recognize that the wild is not what we think it is. It is not a utopian area where the animals are living in peace. It's a war zone. Any one of our species is going to have to compete against other species in order to make a living. And while that is their natural function, the population of people, how deep and how thick the population has become, is made it such that if a cat walks far enough, they're going to walk into a fence. And there is no war we can fight, no bill we can write, and no foot we can stomp that's going to change the way that another culture wants to treat its animal population. If we talk about tigers alone, the country with the most tigers in the wild, India, is also the most populous country in the world. The second most populous country, China, has the most number of tigers in captivity for a country. And it's two completely different philosophies. You've got, this is our national symbol, we need to protect it, and you've got, this is a potential commodity, we want to use it. So it's a very complex circumstance, and everything that we do, every zoo, every animal place, we're a hedge bet that basically says, if we believe that humans are going to be able to protect the environment and to allow these animals to live natural, normal lives without the threat of poaching and poisonings, we don't have a need for it. But if we believe that human nature is what it is, and we are going to end up having people and governments that can write a species off with the stroke of a pen, then we have to take action. And that action is learning the skills and techniques necessary to keep them amongst us.
And you have 18 cats here, right? So there are people who will say, well, just take them back out into the wild. That is not possible. And that's what I think they really don't understand, because by the time you get to these cats, they have been somewhat domesticated.
Socialized is like we like to use the term socialized, because they're never domesticated.
That's
They will still kill you.
my bad,
Yes, you will definitely end up finding out the hard way. But to your point, it's all about solutions. As part of our mission, we are seeking to create a platform to address the challenges of big cats for the future. If part of those challenges is trying to address challenges in the wild, then we engage with that. We currently do have MOUs with some of the international agencies like the Global Tiger Forum to learn about what is it that they're doing in the tiger range countries to try to preserve tigers that are out there. But we also work with entities within the country, whether it be the Feline Conservation Federation or zoological associations, to make sure that we're being responsible stewards of the population we still have. It is a whole cloth approach that can't be done behind a keyboard.
How does it work if people do want to come out and see these beautiful creatures up close? I understand groups usually stay kind of small, but you also do some corporate things. Tell us about that.
Sure. So our core offering are guided tours, which you can get from our website, which is cflar.org. Up in the upper corner, you can book a tour, and you can have an adventure sort of your own design. There are some people who like to come out here, and they don't want to deal with kids and screaming and things like that. So they may choose a guided tour or a private tour so that they can choose the people they want on it. Or you can have a family tour. So if you do have little ones, we're not saying don't come. We're saying, yeah, let's have a tour that's catered towards little ones so that they can enjoy the environment. And then, of course, we have more adventure-based tours where we can go behind the scenes and really get deep into the story, or even an executive tour that allows you to ask for a tour guide like me or any of the other senior leaders, and we will give you the real in-depth of what's going on, both now as well as into the future.
Yeah, and the day-to-day operation of this place cannot be cheap.
It is not. We have all experienced a little touch of inflation in the last couple of years. So if you think your meat is expensive, try buying it by the ton.
By the ton, yeah. How much do you...
Per day, they were telling us?
Yes, and that's right now because, the weather is just starting to get nice, but it fluctuates throughout the year. The colder, the more they eat. The warmer, the less they eat. And they're cats, so that means they are finicky picnickers. That means they will eat what they want to eat. And if they aren't in the mood for pork today, then guess what?
They're not eating pork today.
Sounds like a 9-year-old.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I have to ask you about your name. May I?
You can.
Because it's so perfect for what you do, but that's your name. I call you Dr. Simba before I got here because I just thought it was the best. It's a family name, long before you ever encountered these cats.
Indeed, yes. And so it is one of those things that has followed me, certainly. It is one of those things
Maybe
that,
you followed it?
No, I know that I probably existed first, one way or before. But it is a fortunate thing. It just has turned out that way.
I just wanted people to know that you did not choose a name based on your profession.
No, I suppose if I were doing that, then I would be mortar and pestle. But no, this is a labor of love, and it does make it a lot easier.
For sure.
Man, fantastic. And I love that your passion and really all the volunteers out here we've seen today seem to just have a love. They donate so much of their time to this place that it is very impressive. And I'm curious.
Feel it out here.
Yeah, you do. And everything is in very good shape. All of these creatures look like they are healthy.
Oh my gosh.
You don't see any bony cats out here. Their enclosures are pristinely clean. So those are the things that I like to see as I'm looking around. And I'm curious as to, since you've been involved in this for so long, what is the most surprising thing you've ever learned about dealing with big cats? Because when we walk around with this guy, he's talking to him. He's make that noise that you make.
The chuffing noise.
Chuffing.
Yes,
What's that?
That is, that's how I make it. But everybody who tries to do it does it with a different dialect. We've had people that try to roll their R's so it sounds like.
I just spit on myself.
Sometimes, we
I couldn't do it.
New volunteers, they spend a lot of time drooling. But the good news is that the cats are very accommodating, and they are like, you got a strange accent, but I'll respond to you.
I appreciate that you're trying.
I appreciate that. And that's just part of the fun. The most surprising thing, I think, for me is that learning the depth of cognition and emotional capacity for the animals. And there is a huge challenge that we have where, we're people, right? We have a context with which we address the world. And we tend to anthropomorphize things. The presence of being happy or sad or depressed or all of those things, That may exist in the environment for some of the animals, but the causes and the manner in which it's exhibited may not be the same. And so as a clinician, I'm always trying to figure out how best to connect with a patient to try and get the best outcome for them. And that piece of clinical practice comes back to the cats as well, to be able to look at their behaviors and cross-reference that with what we learn about their physiology, their natural history, their ability to process the world, and to learn about how to communicate on their level.
Yeah, I noticed they make eye contact with you. They didn't care about us, but you walk up there. Honestly, there was this connection there. They see you and you say something that I think is so beautiful. I see you. You say that to each one of them. Why is that so important?
It is, on the surface level, it's about setting intention. So they do a lot of eye contact, and when they do eye contact, that is them reaching out into their world. And so it's an obligation. It's like if someone says hello to you, you're going to say hello back. And so to a certain degree, it's basic politeness. If they see me, it's like, I see you as well. That sets an intention that we are making a connection. Do they understand the English words coming out of my mouth? No, that's not necessary. The manner in which they communicate is deeper and more primal than what we ordinarily would do amongst our ordinary society. It's something we have access to, but we may not oftentimes utilize. And so in many ways, it's an attempt for me to bring myself to their level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
and your job as a pharmacist, though, that is hectic, that is fast paced. You come here, you have to have a different pace.
Yes, you have to have a different pace, but what I found over the years is that they have started to become a lot more similar. Because there's a lot of things to do. In my role, being a CEO for the organization, I am trying to keep the pieces together. All of the things that happen for anybody in their work, in their business, they all come to rest on the desk at some point. Whether it be making sure that you've paid the electric bill, or, oh, this meat supplier is short, or this one needs to have a veterinary procedure, so we need to get a team together to do that, or, goodness, the storm came and now we have to do all this cleanup. All of these things are realities, and that pace in this environment actually, I believe, helps support the work that I do for people when I take on an executive role in the pharmacy arena.
Wow, well, we are impressed with what we've seen out here.
So great.
Fascinating individual you are, Dr. Simba Wiltz. If you would like to check out the Central Florida Animal Reserve.
And you should.
Yeah, you should. CFLAR.org. The drive here is beautiful. If you're, say, in Orlando or Winter Park or something, take you about an hour drive, but I'm going to tell you what, you're going to enjoy it.
But you're going to stay and you're going to relax and you're going to have a really good time. I love that you also said before our encounter today, that's how you describe an encounter with a cat. So I felt such a huge compliment. And so we've been encountered now. Yeah. So.
I see you, Dr. Wiltz.
And we see you. And we'll see you next time on Florida's Fourth Estate.